what's up, boys? Today we're going to talk about the 3 most important things that all the cooking blogs are fucking lying to you about, and they don't tell you about that are actually super important in order to get good cooking. So what are we talking about? Alright, the first thing is something I've already talked about, but I'm going to talk about again, and that is salt and pepper. Now the South and black people, they have it right. They know how to absolutely fucking season their cooking. Us Midwestern white people, we do not season our food at all. Alright? So the amount of salt and the amount of pepper that you think is correct in the food that you're cooking is not correct at all.
Sometimes you gotta have flavor. You should enjoy your food. Food shouldn't just be something that's like, oh, let me be careful about this or that. It should really be about the layers of taste. Put more shit in there. It's okay.
You need to be probably putting on 2 to 3 times as much salt and pepper as you think is necessary in order to actually season your food. Go look at a video by Gordon Ramsay, go look at a video by any professional chef, and you would be shocked at how much salt and pepper they actually put on their dishes. Go look at some Cajun cooking. Holy shit, you want to talk about putting pepper on a dish? If you look at some good jambalaya videos, what they're going to do is tell you to crank the pepper until your arm is sore. That's how much pepper they want you to put on it. And this is a big joke on Twitter. I know this firsthand growing up. My mom, my dad, we didn't season meat at all. I was having plain chicken breasts. I was having the blandest pork chops. They didn't season at all. And so if you want to get good at seasoning, you're going to want to be adding salt and pepper. That's a beer. Pepper all throughout your cooking process. You're going to want to heavily salt and pepper at the beginning. Then when you add new ingredients, you're going to want to salt and pepper those. And then at the end, you're going to want to salt and pepper again based on flavor. So you want to be salting and peppering all throughout your process. And if you're a straight up Midwestern white dude who's never been introduced to good cooking, you need to be doing this like 5 to 6 times as much as you think you need to. All these food blogs out there, they're going to have you do this. Now, I'm going to use my finishing salt that's going right on the grill. These are going to be burgers. They're going to have you be like, oh yeah, salt your meat. Okay, now put on a little pepper. Good, now you're ready to go. No, fuck that. Here's how you salt your meat, alright? You're gonna get a big fucking chunk of salt, and you're gonna salt the shit out of this, my guy. Look, this is a pound of beef. You need to make sure every little inch and fucking crevice of this is salted. Look, this is gonna go on the grill, this is gonna cook down. That's how much salt you want on this, okay? And you're gonna take your pepper. Now, mind you, this is my special Telecherry and regular pepper blend. Look at this. This is what I'm talking about, alright? This is salt and pepper in your meat right here. Alright? That's a good amount for a burger blend. For a steak, I mean, maybe a little less pepper, but that's what you're going to want to do. And then what you do is you fucking flip it over, alright? Wash your hands. Don't fucking infect your salt. And then you're going to come in and do this side the same way. I mean, you're going to really give this some fucking flavor, my guys. Look at that. You see what I'm talking about with this salt? I mean, we ain't playing games here. That's how much salt you need to actually flavor your meat with. And again, boom. I'm coming over here and I'm cranking some fucking pepper, okay? We're cranking salt, we're cranking pepper. And now that is a properly seasoned piece of meat right here. Alright? We're not playing games. We ain't out here. And then what you can do is you see all those leftovers right here. Boom. You take your side of your meat. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, boom, boom. And then you got a little bit mixed in on the sides. You can cook all that in. Dude, you're fucking playing games now. You're actually going to have a delicious, tasteful piece of meat when you do it like this. Stop being my mom or some old white lady from the Midwest. Start treating your meat like you're a brother from the South. You gotta season the shit out of that. Season your fucking food. Alright, the second thing I want to talk about is oiling the pan. Now, every single shitty food blogger and people who don't know what they're talking about, they're gonna tell you to put in 1 tablespoon, maybe 2 tablespoons of oil into the pan. Fuck that. Do you know how small of amount of oil that is? 2 tablespoons of oil isn't gonna do shit, okay? They're gonna tell you to put an entire onion and cook it into 1 or 2 tablespoons of oil? Are you fucking kidding me? That's ridiculous. My guys, look, if you're cooking chicken, if you're browning meat, if you're putting vegetables in a pan, there's a fucking oil in that pan, okay? If you put in 1 or 2 tablespoons, that's going to be absorbed by the first thing you put it into, and the whole meat or vegetables that you're trying to cook with, you're never going to see a hint of that fucking oil, and they'll be cooking dry in the bottom of your pan. If you want to do good cooking, put a shitload of oil in that fucking pan. There's literally no downside to putting more oil than you think you need. I mean, don't get me wrong, if you put in too much fucking oil, that's bad. But it's way harder to put in too much oil than it is to put in not enough oil and fuck up your cooking. So next time you see a recipe that says put in a tablespoon or 2 tablespoons, fuck that. Put in a good amount and see where it gets you. We're gonna take 1 tablespoon of olive oil, put in that pan. That is not enough to cook your vegetables in, okay? Not enough to cook your steak in. That's not enough to do anything in. You have to put in at least 2 tablespoons of olive oil, okay? 2 tablespoons of olive oil are gonna give you the bare minimum, maybe. But look, if you want to cook things up right, if you really want to get a good fry on, don't be hesitant to put in more olive oil, okay? You can put in a nice healthy dose here. That's about where I like to get it at, where you're actually like getting it nice and hot and cooking everything, okay? Because when you drop your onions in here, when you drop your steak in here, you actually want this nice solid surface that's really gonna cook everything totally in the oil, okay? If your pan isn't coated in a nice layer and you're trying to brown something, or you're trying to do something up right, and you only have the little middle part in it cooking in the oil, no. You see, this is exactly what you want. See that little extra bit I gave there? Where this entire pan is now coated in oil? Once you get that hot, once you get that bubbling, then you'll be able to put everything. It's actually going to fry in that oil. It's going to cook in the oil. And that's a really important thing. So when you add olive oil to a pan, make sure you're putting in enough in there for your entire pan to get coated, and make sure that you're able to cook everything actually in the oil instead of just putting it in there and letting a little bit sit. The final thing no one talks about is sharpening your knife. I know some people may do it here and there, but having a sharp ass knife is the most important thing you can ever do to cook. Alright? So if you have a dull knife, not only are you not going to be more effective, but you're actually more at a risk of cutting yourself. Because if you have a dull knife, your cuts are going to be weaker and you're going to have to push hard. If you're pushing hard, you're doing it all wrong. So I'm actually going to show you my favorite knife sharpener, and we're going to talk about knife sharpening a little bit. So this is an Hoyle knife sharpener, and it's actually a knockoff of a very popular TV product, but I've watched hundreds of knife sharpener reviews online, and this style is probably the best you can get for your money without spending a shitload for something really fancy. All the electric knife sharpeners are horrible. Until you go up like to an insane amount of money, most of them are just gonna fuck up your knives. So this one can work in 3 stages, which is beautiful. A rough sharpen, you have a fine sharpen, and then you have a hone. And so with this knife, what we can do is do our rough sharpen, which is you put in, and then you pull up. And you're always gonna go one direction, about a 45-degree angle, and I'm gonna pull up. And what this is gonna do is do your rougher sharpening, okay? So this is just to get your edge relatively sharp, and then when you want to get it fine sharpening, you're going to come down. And that's a good thing about this sharpener is that it actually offers all these different types of sharpening. So you have your initial sharpening, then you have your finer sharpening, and now to polish the edge, you put it in the middle and you pull across. And that is going to give you a bonkers sharp fucking knife. Bonkers sharp. You see what I'm talking about? Fucking bonkers sharp, my guys. And this is going to keep you super safe in the kitchen. As I'm working on this video for you guys, I just remembered a fourth thing. And this is a big one. So thank your fucking lucky stars that I'm putting this in here. The most important tip, and the way everyone fucks things up, this should have been number one. Alright, let me tell you, this should have been number one. Whenever they say use 2 cloves of garlic, they're fucking lying. Never use 2 cloves of garlic. Alright, 2 cloves of garlic is like going in knee deep into the ocean. 3 cloves of garlic is like right when your balls hit, just when you get the little tickle in, just when you start getting wet and it's official. Like 4 cloves of garlic is when you actually feel it. Unless you're trying to not taste your garlic, or you're putting like garlic in super late into something, never put 2 fucking cloves of garlic in something. Always start with at least 3 cloves of garlic, probably 4. Don't fuck around with your garlic, alright? Fucking do it like you mean it. And put in 4 cloves of garlic, my boy. Put in 4 cloves of garlic. This is gonna make it good. There's no downside. It'll make it good, trust me. Put in 4 cloves of garlic. Next time it says 2, put in 4. And that's all I can say about that.
Now piss off and cook.